Ever felt like you needed a shortcut to understanding a whole new world, or maybe even a new set of powers that could quite literally rewrite reality?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're diving headfirst into a journey where our listener is doing exactly that, learning to wield incredible abilities and navigate the complex ethics that come with them, all while facing down some truly mischievous adversaries. So buckle up.
And for those maybe just tuning in or needing a quick refresher, remember that at its core, bibliomancy is this amazing power to not just read stories, but to enter them.
Right, to actually go inside the book.
Exactly. And to change them, to wield the very fabric of narrative reality. It's truly a power like no other.
So powerful.
Our mission today really is to unpack a series of recent, pretty whirlwind events for our listener, Rose. We're focusing on the rapid evolution of her bibliomancy powers.
Which have been evolving fast.
Incredibly fast.
Yeah.
So we'll explore the challenges of managing these new magical abilities, the nuanced ethical dilemmas of controlling narratives, which is huge, and the surprising personal discoveries she's made along the way.
And it's all drawn from this fantastic collection of insights, these sources you've provided, detailing 2 really intense weeks in her life. She's discovering the full scope of her power.
Yeah, it's a lot to cover.
It really is. From battling literary villains, facing an entirely new kind of magical threat, to rebuilding communities, and even taking this wild, immersive ride through the American West of 1849. There's just a phenomenal amount to explore.
Okay.
Let's dig into this a bit more. So our story picks up the morning after a particularly intense night for Rose. Sleepless, actually.
Right.
She's been up absolutely devouring The Lies of Locke Lamora, that book notorious for its intricate plots and morally ambiguous con artists.
Oh, yeah, fantastic book. Complex.
Exactly. She's just finished the final page when her mentor, Sparky, makes this unexpected appearance. But, he's not there for a book review, is he?
No, not at all. He's there for a rather pointed, pretty critical debrief on Rose's most recent magical adventure.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Sparky doesn't even pause, doesn't ask about Locke or Jean or anything.
Nope. Straight to business.
He immediately pivots, cutting straight to the practical application and the implications of her powers in the real world. Or, well, the world she just altered.
Yeah, and this isn't theoretical instruction, It's a form of learning by doing, coupled with immediate and often, let's be honest, rather blunt critical reflection.
Very blunt sometimes.
This kind of hands-on, high-stakes mentorship is just crucial for someone wielding such potent reality-bending abilities.
Absolutely. You can see Sparky's unique teaching style right away. He gets straight to the point, asks her why she's suddenly asking about some fae named Mistralin.
And Rose is a bit flustered, right? She recounts the incident.
Yeah, she does, and Sparky's critique is sharp, goes right to the core of the problem. You were in the villain's saloon, he says, surrounded by villains, and you didn't know if your power would work or not.
Mm-hmm. The risk.
Huge risk. He says you could have been hurt, killed, and any number of other possibilities I do not wish to think about. He's focused entirely on core principles, safety, foresight, understanding your own power.
And he just brushes aside what he calls minor technical details, like the specific plot points you might have stumbled into.
Exactly. Not important right now.
This really highlights the immense importance of such, pragmatic mentorship for new magic users, especially when their powers allow them to manipulate reality itself.
It makes you think, how do you responsibly teach powers like that? Powers that let you manipulate reality without creating a danger to yourself or, everyone else.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Sparky isn't just imparting knowledge, he's instilling a philosophy, a whole way of thinking about this.
Right.
He's not interested in Rose being the fastest or the most powerful bibliomancer. His objective, he says, is to make her the best bibliomancer.
Emphasizing responsibility, forethought, ethics above all else.
Exactly. Which naturally brings us directly to the lessons learned from that saloon incident.
Yeah, Rose sheepishly admits she should have tested her powers first, a realization Sparky immediately validates.
She gets it, finally.
She grasps the folly of putting herself in such profound danger without truly understanding her capabilities in that specific context.
It's a universal lesson, though, isn't it? Understanding the limits of your power before you're in danger, that's vital. Doesn't matter if you're battling fictional characters or, presenting a new business idea.
So true. You need to know what you can actually do.
And Sparky uses this moment perfectly. He takes the opportunity to reiterate some of his earlier teachings, masterfully connecting this latest misstep back to Rose's initial lessons.
He reminds her of Salome's situation, right? how building trust and allowing Salome to confess in her own time was paramount.
Yes. Forcing a confession, he emphasized then and now, would have been like stealing her agency, a fundamental violation.
And then he praises her, praises Rose's remarkable restraint in dealing with those two vile men from that earlier encounter.
Because she gave them a choice, didn't she? Instead of just erasing them from existence, which she probably could have done.
Easily, maybe. It's a subtle but crucial distinction he's making.
And this is where the true genius, I think, in Sparky's mentorship shines through. He tells her, I'm not trying to make you a bibliomancer the fastest way, or the way to make you the most powerful. I want to make you the best.
It's not just about raw magical might, is it? It's about cultivating an ethical core, a moral compass to guide these incredible abilities.
Absolutely. He even goes so far as to say Tolkien himself would be proud of her restraint.
Wow. High praise indeed when you're dealing with the power to control and rewrite narratives.
It really is. And it delves deeply into this concept of agency within magical influence. If we step back for a moment, the broader implication here. Sparky's teaching highlights that true power isn't about absolute unthinking control.
It's more nuanced.
Much more. It's about understanding the profound ethical implications of affecting others' free will, even if those others are fictional characters.
Which raises that question you mentioned. What does it truly mean for a character to have agency within a narrative? And how does a bibliomancer respect that, especially when their very existence, their motivations, their outcomes can be so easily rewritten?
It's a constant tightrope walk, a huge responsibility.
And as if these crucial lessons weren't enough for one morning, Sparky then drops a bombshell, completely redefines the immediate threat.
Yeah, this is where Mistralin comes in.
He introduces Rose to Mistralin, describing him as a twisted piece of work, formerly Titania's head spy.
Titania. Queen of the Fae, that's serious business.
Right. And chief mischief maker. Sparky paints this chilling picture of him as Puck with no sense of humor or grace.
Okay, so imagine Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream, all the mischief, none of the charm, just malice.
Pure, unadulterated malice. And then the warning, stark, chilling. If you see him run, do you understand? Run.
Wow, just run. No fighting, no clever tricks. Run.
That's the advice.
What's truly intriguing here, though, is the psychological aspect of Mr. Allen's strategy. Sparky explicitly calls him a coward.
He does. Says he manipulates others to do his dirty work.
Exactly. He creates these intricate layers of separation using proxies, which makes it exceptionally harder to track and confront directly.
So he's not the type to engage directly. He's an architect of chaos, a puppet master.
Precisely. Pulling strings from the shadows. It speaks volumes about the nature of the threat Rose is facing now.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, it means the true threat often isn't the one directly in front of you. It's the cunning architect pulling the strings from behind the curtain.
Mr. Allen isn't showing up himself. Not yet, anyway. He deliberately targeted Soline's nonfiction book, and we'll definitely get to that crucial detail specifically to draw Rose out.
It's calculated, insidious, designed to exploit her connections, her sense of responsibility.
It's a universal lesson, really. Whether you're facing a fictional antagonist or a real-life challenge, understanding the motivations and tactics of an unseen opponent is absolutely crucial for effective defense.
You have to know who you're really up against. Okay, so this brings us to a truly unique situation, one that profoundly tests Rose's understanding of her burgeoning powers and the ethical framework she's been meticulously developing with Sparky's help.
Right, because Mistralin's vile plot involved sending this vile little man, so-called suit guy, to Earth.
And not just sending him, he gave this guy bibliomancy powers.
Yes, which is terrifying in itself.
Yeah.
And instructed him to target a nonfiction book written by Soline, who, as we know, is a close friend of Paulus.
So the whole scheme was designed, Sparky confirms, just to draw Rose into the contract. Playing on our personal connections, it's low.
It is. And let's dig into this nonfiction aspect a bit more. The ability to affect non-fictional characters in the same way as fictional ones.
Yeah.
That fundamentally expands the scope of bibliomancy.
It's the game changer.
Completely. It raises entirely new questions about the nature of reality and narrative itself.
Yeah.
Until this point, Rose's experiences were mostly in fictional worlds. The stakes were high, sure, but contained within established literary boundaries.
But now?
Now, the very line between what is real history and what is story just blurs profoundly. It challenges not only the definitions of her power, but also its inherent boundaries and responsibilities when dealing with actual historical or biographical accounts.
It's incredibly cunning, isn't it? Using Paula's friend Celine to bait Rose. Classic villain move, really.
Textbook manipulation.
Rose recounts entering the first scene of Celine's nonfiction book, learning almost immediately, and with a shock that she could affect nonfictional characters just like fictional ones.
Imagine that realization. The implications hitting you.
Right. And this, of course, led to a truly crucial dilemma for Rose. What do you do with the captured suit guy? Especially since he possesses bibliomancy powers himself, making him this perpetual, unpredictable threat.
Which leads directly to Rose's final solution, as the sources call it, and it's remarkable. Shows both ingenuity and this deeply considered ethical thought process.
First, she uses a clever trick from one of Paula's thrillers, kind of ironic, using fiction to solve a non-fiction problem to render the suit guy inert, temporarily immobilize him without permanent harm.
Smart move. Buys her time.
Her first thought is magical jails, right? Like in fantasy novels.
A common trope. Makes sense, she'd think of it.
But Sparky quickly shuts that down. He says, quite plainly, no. What are we, in a Harry Potter novel, with ghouls as jailers? No, there aren't any prisons for magicians.
Huh. Classic Sparky, blunt, practical.
That blunt assessment forces Rose to get creative, to devise a truly innovative and crucially ethical solution that acknowledges the unique nature of her powers.
This is where her ingenuity really shines through. She realizes that as, well, maybe not the original author, but the ultimate wielder of narrative authority in her sphere,
Yeah.
she might have a deeper power than just simple imprisonment.
So what does she do? She creates an entirely new world, a perfect, pristine copy of Tranquility, a place she loves.
Creates a world, just like that. The scale of that.
It's mind-boggling. Then, using her authorial authority, she literally changes the suit guy's identity. From an author, a wielder of bibliomancy, back into just a character within this new, contained narrative.
So she strips him of his powers that way, by changing his fundamental nature within that reality.
Exactly. It prevents him from ever escaping or causing harm again. I mean, creating an entirely new reality just to contain one bad guy.
Yeah.
That's truly outside-the-box thinking, isn't it?
It's an extraordinary feat, technically. Makes you reconsider the very nature of creation itself within this context. But beyond the mechanics, what truly struck me was a profound ethical framework guiding that decision.
She explains her reasoning, right? It's multi-layered, surprisingly compassionate.
Deeply compassionate. She says, well, I didn't think it was my place to punish him. She mentions witnessing the vile things being said between those incels against wokeness, this group the suit guy was part of, and felt those guys were punishing themselves with their own hatred.
So she chooses kindness, a kind world instead of some magical hellscape for punishment.
Yes. And then, maybe most remarkably, she decides to remove his memory, plants a memory of loving parents instead.
Why?
Her rationale: he had no friends or family. The only people he'd interacted with were those guys, so I thought if he had any chance of finding happiness in his new home, he needed to forget his hateful past.
Wow.
It raises this important, deeply human question. At what point does removing someone's agency because she is removing his memory and identity become an act of compassion, especially when their original path was one of self-destruction and causing harm to others?
It's an incredible display of mercy and foresight. Definitely a path less taken in these kinds of situations.
But Sparky, ever the pragmatist, offers an important counterpoint. Grounds Rose's idealism in the harsher realities of power.
What does he say?
He tells Rose, I don't think he took his agency. He had agency when he accepted the power, when he used the power in a criminal way.
Okay, so the agency was lost when he chose that path.
That's Sparky's argument. He continues, if you hadn't imprisoned him in the kindest possible way I can imagine, he'd be loose, causing others to lose their agency.
Right, protecting others.
He highlights that Rose's actions, though extreme and deeply impactful, were ultimately a necessary measure to protect the agency and free will of countless others. This villain would have undoubtedly targeted if he'd remained free.
It's a complex situation.
This whole scenario offers us a deep dive into the complexities of justice, rehabilitation, and that fine line between control and care when dealing with individuals who cause harm.
Rose chose a path that ensures safety without resorting to vengeance. She gave him a new chance at a normal life, sort of.
Albeit one fundamentally altered and contained within a new reality she created. It's a profound example of a bibliomancer not just wielding immense power, but grappling with its moral weight in a way that prioritizes a kind of rehabilitative justice over purely punitive measures.
Definitely a lot for you, the listener, to think about there. The ethics are just fascinating. Okay, so moving from those intense ethical dilemmas containing villains, Rose's journey then takes this much more intimate turn, one that truly reshapes her understanding of herself and her past.
Yeah, this part is incredibly personal,
Hmm.
emotionally resonant, and it's sparked by another book.
Always the books.
Always. Salome, after deeply reading Sienna Rousseau's journals, comes to talk to Rose. She initiates a conversation that will change everything.
And Rose is immediately nervous, isn't she? Worried about how the brutal parts of the book, Sienna's actions, might have affected Salome.
Exactly. What's truly insightful here is this concept of a narrative acting as a mirror, or maybe even a historical echo chamber.
How so?
Well, Salome describes crying while reading the journal, but then finding solace and clarity talking to Lily. Then she seeks out Rose, not for comfort herself, but to make Rose feel better.
Because she knew Rose would be panicking about her reaction.
Right. This highlights the profound emotional power of stories, not just for the reader, but also for the writer. Or, in this case, the bibliomancer, connected to the story who is unknowingly revealing her own past through the act of engaging with it.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do our own creations, our own stories, reveal profound truths about ourselves that we might not even be consciously aware of? Rose admits she had no idea what Sienna truly did for a living or how brutal some of her actions were. The sources say she was clearly blushing over parts of the book, feeling this strange, almost embarrassing connection to this past self.
And then Salome drops the bombshell. Just completely changes Rose's understanding of her own identity.
She says,
But Rose, you are Sienna.
wow, just like that.
Just like that. It's an aha moment of epic proportions.
Yeah.
A direct, undeniable link between the modern bibliomancer and this powerful historical figure.
This raises that important question you mentioned, echoing through time. Is Rose's power a manifestation of her own historical legacy?
It strongly suggests it, doesn't it? This direct link implies a deeper, maybe innate connection to the narratives she influences and creates. It's not just a past life in a vague sense. It feels more like an ancestral connection, a re-embodiment of a powerful individual whose life story is now being reread and, in a way, relived by Rose.
So her current abilities might not just be new discoveries, but an awakening of something that was always hers.
Potentially. Part of her deep history. And Salome reinforces this beautifully. She says, if it hadn't been you that saved me, the next best person would have been Sienna, drawing this clear parallel between their destinies, their core nature.
That's incredible. And the power of stories intertwined with genuine friendship continues to unfold, right? Salome then expresses this immense, heartfelt gratitude to Rose.
Yes, she tells her, you've turned my life completely around. From what Salome describes as a miserable little life, she now has a glorious life with a nice home, a wonderful roommate, and friends.
That's a profound testament to the personal impact Rose has had on someone she chose to help, to bring out of a bad narrative.
It's a powerful reminder of how individual actions, even magical ones, can ripple out and fundamentally change a person's existence for the better.
So, zooming out a bit, what does this tell us about the larger context, about healing?
It shows how sharing one's narrative, one's story, and having it acknowledged and supported within a safe, loving community, it can be this powerful catalyst for moving beyond past pain, embracing a new future.
Salome explains that talking about her old, difficult life with Lily and now with Rose makes the anger, betrayal, and depression float away, allows her to think more about the future instead of being trapped in the past.
It's a beautiful example of the therapeutic aspect of externalizing trauma. The sources even note that sun, warmth, and tea and cookies Lily sent can heal a lot of hurts.
Sometimes it's the simple things.
It emphasizes the simple yet profound comfort found in supportive relationships and community.
It's such a tender, vulnerable moment in the sources. Rose gets emotional, denies she's crying, until Salome gently points out her wet face.
It really highlights the deep personal growth and the strength of the friendship that has blossomed between them. A bond forged through shared experiences and mutual support.
And this deep emotional connection is immediately followed by a lighter, more humorous anecdote, which I loved.
Oh yeah, on their way to the tavern.
Yes. The group engages in some playful teasing. Salome notes everyone loves teasing Rose because she gets even more beautiful when you blush.
It's a wonderful balance, isn't it? Shows the strength and normalcy of their bond amidst all these extraordinary circumstances.
And the lightheartedness continues. Lou apparently gets into a quick fist fight at the tavern.
Yeah, almost casual.
Yeah.
Which she quickly resolves with her usual efficiency and charm, apparently.
Then Rose makes a pun. Being a female bard is not all it's cracking up to be.
Oh, classic Rose pun. I can almost hear Lou's groan and Salome's giggle.
It does show, though, even amidst all this high-stakes magic and community building, there's still room for that kind of lighthearted connection. Those moments of levity are crucial, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're not just comic relief, they're emotional anchors. They underscore the resilience and humanity of the characters, and they give us, the audience, you the listener, a chance to breathe amidst the tension.
But as we often see in these narratives, moments of peace are rarely permanent.
No. And Mistralin, true to his insidious nature, was already plotting his next move.
And that next move brought a chilling panic to Wildwood. The calm, heartfelt moments of community are shattered pretty quickly.
Yeah, Juliet burst into the bookstore, breathless, panicked, because the new school, which used to be an old church, a symbol of stability and learning, was just gone.
Wiped from the map. Vanished.
Naturally, some of the more superstitious villagers immediately jumped to conclusions, blaming God's punishment for closing the church.
Understandable panic, maybe, but Rose, she steps up immediately.
Let's dig into this a bit more. Faced with widespread panic, fear, even superstition, Rose doesn't just react, she takes decisive command.
She immediately and very boldly dismisses the idea of divine punishment, proclaims with conviction, if God was so offended that we closed the church, why doesn't he strike me dead where I stand?
Wow, challenging God directly.
Pretty much. She says, this was not God, but an enemy of mine, and I will deal with them. She reassures the terrified villagers, addresses their immediate emotional needs, and then, with incredible efficiency, mobilizes resources. Calls for help from Lou and Juliet.
That's true leadership in action, confronting fear head-on, offering a tangible path forward.
She even tells the kids it's a school holiday, a remarkably calm and positive reframing of a serious crisis.
That's clever. Keeps the panic down among the children.
And she encourages all the villagers to look for anything unusual, turning their fear into a productive search. But what's clear is Mistralin's continued strategic approach here.
He's hitting where she's most invested.
Exactly. Rose explicitly acknowledges this later, stating with poignant insight, I'm most vulnerable here because I have the most to lose here, but I'm also the most powerful here.
That's a fascinating paradox. Vulnerability and power tied to the same place. Mistralin is consistently hitting where Rose is most deeply invested her community, the people she cares about.
It raises that important question you mentioned. What makes a place or a group of people a soft target in a larger conflict?
Mistralin understands that a direct, head-on confrontation with Rose is extremely risky, given her growing powers. So instead, he aims to destabilize her by attacking the very fabric of her protected community.
Knowing it will draw her out, force her to act.
It's a calculated attempt to exploit her emotional ties and sense of responsibility, forcing her hand in a way that serves his larger, unseen agenda.
So, faced with this urgent need to find the perpetrator, and with no clear target, Rose tries a standard locate an unknown person spell. But it fails.
Right, you can't target the unknown.
So she literally jumps back to Sparky for guidance, who confirms her suspicion. No, a targeting spell has to know what to look for, and an unknown is unknown.
So standard magic is out. She needs something new.
Which forces her to innovate, to bend the rules of magic itself.
And this is where the true ingenuity and the developing mastery of a bibliomancer really takes center stage. Rose develops and casts this unique, never-before-seen floating spell.
Explain that again. It's brilliant.
Her invention is brilliantly specific in its criteria. Anyone who wasn't a villager of Wildwood, didn't have a villager for family, or was a known traitor to the village, they would instantly float 100 feet in the air.
Just up they go.
Up they go. Furthermore, and this is a stroke of narrative genius within the spell itself, anyone inside a building who met these criteria would feel an irresistible compulsion to go outside and then float.
So no hiding.
No hiding. When the standard spells don't work, you don't give up, you invent one. That's true innovation and shows a deep understanding of the subtle nuances of reality manipulation.
And of course, like any new invention, there are immediate and rather amusing consequences, bugs to work out.
Oh yeah, like what?
The first person she finds floating, much to her surprise and embarrassment, is Alexander Minstrel, the traveling merchant.
Oops, an innocent bystander caught in the magical net.
Exactly. Rose has to quickly float him back down, apologize profusely, and to compensate for the inconvenience and fright, she buys a new set of pots and pans he was trying to sell and presents them to Annie Blessing.
Nice gesture, making amends.
Tells Annie, no, but you deserve them. Give your old set to someone in need. She also quickly realizes her other mistake, forgetting to specifically exclude Lou from the spell.
Oh no, did Lou float too?
Apparently, Rose had to ground her firmly with a quick word. It truly highlights the unpredictable nature of untested magic. You need to think of all the parameters.
This spell is brilliant in its specificity, targeting a very particular set of criteria to flesh out an intruder, while also revealing the growing flexibility of Rose's powers. But yeah, it also highlights the inherent risks, the unforeseen impacts, the need for meticulous planning.
And Lou's role here is crucial too, isn't it? It wasn't just a spell.
No, absolutely not. Lou's keen sense of smell detecting a faint candle maker, scent not native to the village, and the suspicion that it was from someone who either left or been lifted in the air, that ultimately leads to Damon's discovery.
It's a perfect blend then. Magic, ingenuity, and astute natural detective work. Shows that even in a world of magic, practical skills remain invaluable.
Definitely.
So once Damon is located floating and brought down, Rose immediately confronts him, demands to know why he made the school disappear.
And his reason.
He confesses with chilling candor, reveals he acted for revenge on these two bitches, referring to Rose and Juliet. Just pure malice.
Okay, so no complex motive, just spite.
Pretty much. Rose, recognizing the gravity of the situation and the depth of his malice, decides this is too serious for town justice. He needs to be banished or imprisoned by the king himself.
Taking it to a higher authority.
Yes. And importantly, using her authority as a bibliomancer, she strips him of any potential bibliomancer powers he might have acquired from Miss Drylin or anyone else, ensures he can never wield such destructive force again. Then she brings him before the king for official justice.
What's truly fascinating here, again, is Rose's unwavering commitment to establish legal channels. Even though she clearly possesses the personal power to punish him herself, maybe even more severely,
she goes to the effort of seeking the king's justice.
Which not only validates the rule of law within this realm, but also reinforces trust within the community. Justice will be served fairly, publicly, through due process.
And the king.
After hearing Damon's unrepentant confession and his continued threats, the king sentences him to 10 years. A clear demonstration that even in a magical world, lawful consequences are paramount.
The immediate community impact is striking too, and incredibly positive. Rose publicly promises that the school will reopen tomorrow morning.
And not just reopen, right?
No. With not just the missing classrooms restored, but also a brand new library and a playground, directly addressing the villagers' fears and providing tangible, immediate benefits.
Turning a negative into a positive.
Exactly. Juliet later reports that the revitalized school, library, and playground are a huge success. An adult literacy program even starts.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It showcases a community that is not only empowered, but united in the wake of the crisis.
This demonstrates the profound ripple effect of a crisis, leading to both swift resolution and long-term community benefits. Shows incredible resilience and adaptation.
Rose's actions didn't just solve a problem. They enhanced the community's resources, fostered deeper unity, provided a new foundation for collective growth.
That earlier insight of hers, I'm most vulnerable here because I have the most to lose here, but I'm also the most powerful here, truly crystallizes how a leader can turn adversity into an opportunity for profound positive change, transforming a threat into a catalyst for community flourishing.
A powerful lesson there. Okay, after all that intense action, crisis management, and the deep personal revelation about Sienna, it's time for a truly unique kind of deep dive.
The Deep Dive Book Club.
Exactly. But for our listener, Rose, and her friends, this is more than just reading. It's an immersive, almost tactile experience of history.
Rose brings everyone together, and Celine Blanc, the editor of the journal they're reading, introduces Sienna Rousseau's journals. She sets the scene perfectly in the tumultuous era of 1849 American history, Gold Rush era.
What's fascinating here is how these edited journals provide this unique, raw, deeply personal window into real history, especially from the perspective of someone like Sienna, who just defied all the norms of her time.
Celine explains that Sienna, fresh out of college, discovered her family was utterly penniless, and with incredible determination, she decided to prevent their ruin, alone, in a lawless, untamed frontier town.
Just incredible bravery.
Celine also mentions that one intentional change made by the nefarious suit guy that added robbery of mining equipment.
Right, the bit Mistralyn's agent inserted?
Yes. And while it was a malicious disruption, ironically, it actually ends up highlighting Sienna's incredible resilience and fierce determination in the face of this manufactured adversity. It raises an interesting question, though. How do you preserve the authenticity of a historical narrative, especially one impacted by malicious magical alteration, while still presenting it engagingly and truthfully?
It's the ultimate underdog tale, isn't it? Imagine stepping off a train 3,000 miles from home in 1849, 70 years before women were allowed to vote, as the source notes.
Yeah.
With the weight of your entire family on your shoulders, alone in a lawless town teeming with dangers, it's an almost unimaginable challenge for a young woman of that era.
And Rose wisely cautions everyone against directly interacting with the main cast of the journal, right, referencing the damage and chaos the suit guy had already caused.
Underscoring that delicate balance of preserving a historical narrative while observing it. You can't interfere, even if you want to.
And then the group embarks on this incredible journey, literally jumping through a montage of Sienna's extraordinary life. This isn't static reading. It's active, immersive. They witness key scenes unfold as if they were there.
Bringing history to life in a way no textbook ever could. Experiencing the texture, the sounds, the profound challenges of Sienna's world.
This is where the true narrative power shines through. That wasn't just a life described on paper. It was a whirlwind of grit, ingenuity, and sheer force of will they witnessed.
We see Sienna, fresh from college, staking her first minor, Zeke McCormack, navigating a world utterly unprepared for a woman of her intellect and drive.
And she survives that brutal attack by headbutting her assailant.
Such a visceral detail. Instantly tells you this isn't some demure, shrinking violet. She's a formidable force of nature.
It's not just physical defense. It's an immediate, strategic assertion of her will in a world designed to crush it. She then partners with Hamish O'Brien, a seasoned, if initially wary, figure. She immediately gets the need for alliances, for influence.
She fearlessly stands up to Nathan Delaney, the local bully trying to intimidate her, sends him packing with sharp wit and unwavering resolve.
She even shows immense compassion, hiring Bianca Russell, that desperate woman who tries to sell her baby. Sienna sees beyond the surface judgments.
Even her failed attempt to play matchmaker for Zeke and Bianca, it just adds to the rich tapestry of her very human, very relatable experience amidst the extraordinary.
Sienna's journey illustrates incredible adaptability, sharp business acumen, and this deep-seated sense of justice that just transcends her era. She survives another attack, ordered by the vindictive Delaney.
How?
Quick thinking and, as the sources vividly put it, a couple knees to the groin. Again, practical, no-nonsense survival.
Doesn't miss her out.
Then she strategically starts a mail-order bride business with Donatella Fisher. A brilliant move addressing a desperate societal need for women in the West while creating new opportunities.
Followed by establishing another new business as mining money rolls in, shows her entrepreneurial spirit just kept going.
Her achievements culminate in becoming Guildmaster of the Powerful Miners Guild, a position of immense authority, typically reserved for men. She strikes it rich herself, and ultimately is voted chief by the Miwok tribe to negotiate on their behalf with Indian affairs.
From penniless graduate to tribal chief negotiating with the government, it's staggering.
She didn't just survive in this harsh landscape. She profoundly shaped her environment, created opportunities for others, challenged ingrained societal norms, demonstrated how extraordinary individual agency can affect massive, lasting change. Her incredible journey, as shown in the journal, ends at Aphrodite's place in San Francisco.
A fascinating and fitting conclusion to such an eventful, boundary-breaking life. It's just phenomenal. So what does Sienna's story mean for you, the listener, beyond the sheer adventure?
Well, it asks, what does it truly take to succeed against overwhelming odds? To not just survive, but thrive and influence? How can individual initiative lead to community empowerment and historical influence that ripples through generations?
Sienna's life is a masterclass in all of these, demonstrating that even when facing down the impossible, one person's courage can reshape an entire world.
And following this immersive jump, the group discusses the experience with this new understanding. Salome asks a crucial question. Did Paula and Celine, the authors, know their books were connected, specifically regarding Mad Maggie?
What did they say?
Paula admits she noticed the name Bad Maggie, but dismissed it. Didn't believe in Amanda Blatch, thought the reference was just local legend, maybe someone crazy.
And Celine, even after seeing the jump.
Still finds it hard to believe, wrestling with the implications of interconnected worlds.
It truly highlights the aha moments and the profound continuity that bibliomancy brings to these seemingly disparate narratives. Lily, ever the astute observer, raises the practical issue of time passing differently in these worlds.
A very valid concern.
But Rose confirms bibliomancy jumps keep the timeline straight. Reassures Celine she won't go home to find 100 years have passed. Phew.
That's good to know. Stepping back for a moment, what this truly means is these aren't just separate stories. They're intricate threads in a larger, interconnected tapestry. And our listener, Rose, is right at the very center of it all, a nexus point of history and narrative.
What's truly fascinating here is how the bibliomancy world allows for this literal intersection of different authors' creations, even distinct historical periods. Suggests a meta-narrative far grander than anyone initially imagined.
It raises that important question for us to consider. If these worlds are so profoundly connected, what other hidden links might there be? What other echoes of history or prophecy, and how might they subtly or overtly influence each other and Rose's own future?
The group continues to explore these connections, right? Asking about the fates of other characters.
Yes, like Ariel and her sisters, apparently they took over administration of Aphrodite's place. Zeke and Hamish remained partners, with Hamish even becoming an alderman. And Donna married Hamish, remaining lifelong friends with Sienna.
It shows the lasting impact of those relationships.
And the ongoing search for more Sienna journals, especially one detailing how all the girls made out, underscores this deep emotional and historical interconnectedness they now feel.
And a powerful listener takeaway emerges from this profound conversation, I think. Someone remarks, history is pretty interesting when it's about people like Sienna and not some king somewhen declaring war on someone.
Yeah.
I'd much rather hear about the ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
It's a profound shift in perspective, isn't it? Recognizing that the true heroes and shapers of history are often those who build, create, defy expectations, rather than just those who wage war or claim power by birthright. It really changes how one might view the past.
Absolutely.
It's clear that this deep dive into Sienna's journal has not only unveiled a rich, inspiring historical narrative, but also deepened the understanding of how individual lives, even those from the past, profoundly resonate with the present. It illuminates the intricate web of connections binding characters, authors, and even realities together. Hashtag outro.
Wow, what a deep dive this has been. Seriously. We've seen the incredible rapid growth of our listeners' powers, the ethical tightropes they've walked with such thoughtful consideration,
Carefully walked.
and the profound impact they've had on both fictional and non-fictional worlds. From navigating the complexities of agency and justice when wielding reality-altering magic, to uncovering this hidden past that's intimately linked to their very identity. It's been a masterclass in learning, leadership, and the power of narrative.
Absolutely. What's truly striking throughout all these events, all these sources, is the consistent theme of immense responsibility that inevitably comes with such great power.
It's always there.
Whether it's the profound restraint shown in dealing with a villain like the suit guy, the ingenuity and compassion in protecting a beloved community like Wildwood, or the deep personal connection to an ancestor like Sienna, who epitomizes resilience and that trailblazing spirit. Our listener, Rose, is not just a bibliomancer.
She's becoming something more.
She is evolving into a formidable force for positive change, actively shaping narratives and transforming lives, one story, one choice at a time.
So as you, our listener, reflect on this incredible journey alongside Rose, maybe consider this. If stories truly have the power to heal, to connect, and maybe even to change destiny, what unwritten stories are waiting to be told, or perhaps waiting to be rewritten in your own life? And what kind of protagonist will you choose to be in the unfolding narrative of your own unique adventure?